I'm here with actor and comedian Nik Dodani, and who is starring in Atypical Season 2 and the reboot of Murphy Brown. Yes, children, it's back. So let's start talking about Atypical.
Yeah, let's do it.
Your character is on the spectrum, on the autism spectrum, and his friendship with Zahid is really important. Why is that relationship such important for the characters?
I feel like every person deserves someone like Zahid who will just kind of love you for who you are and not treat you any different for your quirks and your oddities, and so I feel like Zahid is that guy for Sam, and it's such a fun thing for me to play, and it's been such a huge learning experience for me. You know, because going to the show, I think I had so many blind spots and misconceptions about folks on the spectrum, and being able to play someone who is best friends with someone on the spectrum has really kind of opened up things for me.
Absolutely, and I think it's interesting. I mean, the way autism and people on the spectrum, the way it's been portrayed over, you know, the last few years, it's not always great. Has not always been accurate or helpful. So going into working on Atypical, how did you and the team navigate?
So Robbie Rashid, who's the creator of the show, she spent a lot of time consulting with folks on the spectrum and researching and being very intentional with the writing. And this season we got to work with David Finch, who's an author on the spectrum, who wrote the book Journal of Best Practices, which Keir used to develop his character. And he was just an incredible person to work with, and you know, helped us navigate what we were doing, called us out when we needed to be called out, and told us when we were doing things correctly. We had a bunch of actors on the spectrum this season playing both neurotypicals and folks on the spectrum. And so, you know, I feel like this season was a lot more inclusive, and I think that's the key to any kind of representation, is actually including the voices of the folks we're actually trying to represent.
Absolutely, and make it all better.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Well, for your character in particular for this season, is there something you're especially excited for people to see?
Yeah, you know, I feel like season 1 was all about dating and sex, and this season is more about Sam just trying to find independence, trying to figure out college, what he wants to do with his life, how to deal with his messed up family, and Zahid kind of helps him navigate that as well. So I get to see more of Zahid that is not just like the horn dog, awkward boy, which is fun. It was great.
It's a demographic.
It is absolutely a demographic. Yeah, I know a lot of guys like Zahid.
Yeah, totally.
But yeah, so I'm excited for that.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, also, of course, you are going to be on the new, improved, the rebooted, the reinvigorated,
the revival,
darling, Murphy Brown, which is really exciting because news and the way we think about media has changed so much since, you know, the show was on the first time. Where does your character kind of fit in to this new?
So I play Pat Patel, who's the director of social media and technology. So I'm millennial reporting for duty, and my job is to kind of bring everyone else into the 21st century, talk about how social media has impacted the news cycle, and talk about how technology affects the way we consume news and interpret news and all that, and kind of just be the young person.
The official young person.
The official young person, the official brown person, the official, I'm doing it all.
I love it.
Yeah.
And how does, I mean, I've heard that there are allusions to like a Fox News kind of like competitor.
Yeah, so Murphy's son Avery works for the Wolf Network.
Okay.
Which is the Fox News, not very veiled reference to Fox News, and he's like the lone liberal voice on this conservative network. And he's in a competing show with his mom, and I don't want to give away too much, but it's about that dynamic and how that tension kind of unfolds. Okay.
Were you a fan of the original Murphy Brown?
So my mom was a huge fan. It was a little before my time, but I used to watch reruns with my mom when I was a kid, and she's freaking out that I'm on this.
She's shook.
So she is shook, yeah, so she's really excited.
Weirdly, I remember Murphy Brown being on when I was younger, and I remember her voice more than, and one just seeing, and like, I was like, she looks like she's taking care of herself and doing her own thing. She's not like a housewife, but she just was like, ooh, strong lady.
Oh yeah, she's a badass.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, Murphy's a badass. Candice Bergen, who plays Murphy Brown, is a badass. It is so surreal working with her in the original cast. Yeah. It's been pretty cool.
I love it. Well, of course, we're here at BuzzFeed. And in 2016, you had a viral moment kind of linked based on a stand-up comedy. What was that experience like?
That was pretty crazy to me, because I started doing stand-up not long before that, and just kind of threw the video up online for my friends and family to watch and judge me. But then you guys picked it up and ran with it, and that was pretty cool. You know, my anxiety spiked immensely.
Cool.
Yeah. I'm not blaming you exactly, but I'm blaming all of you. But no, it was great. It was so cool. It was so amazing to have the BuzzFeed audience kind of look at my stand-up and watch it, and it was really cool to see how many folks in India especially resonated with it, because I know BuzzFeed India is pretty big. It's huge, yeah.
Audience.
And I didn't expect my stand-up to kind of resonate there, because I think I had this misconception that there wasn't really like a queer audience that was like at least vocal. Obviously it's there, but I didn't know that it would be received with such warmth and excitement, so that was really cool.
I do love to joke that BuzzFeed is run by queens. So, we were ready. But what's Queens recognizing queens? But no, really, what has it been like, in terms of your comedy from that kind of moment? You do, of course, as we all do, have all of these different facets of identity. You have your family, Indian identity, being gay. Has anything changed in terms of what you feel more comfortable joking about as you've become more well-known?
Yeah, I mean, I think, the biggest change for me is that now my whole extended family knows that I'm gay, and it didn't require any coming out, which was kind of cool.
That helps.
Yeah, which is nice. I didn't actually have to do anything personally. My favorite thing, though, is when I have really awkward relatives who want to show their support, but I don't know how, so they just come up to me and are like, I saw your stand-up. It's very good. We really like your stand-up. And it's like, okay, I get it.
I was like, okay,
thanks for the love.
Go back.
Yeah, I know.
That's sweet, though.
No, it's so sweet. It's very sweet. And I think it's. I never intended to come out publicly, I guess, but it kind of just happened with that stand-up, and I'm really happy it did, because the idea of not being out that sounds way more exhausting than anything else. So it's kind of been a really cool experience to be just open.
I love it. And we get to benefit from this because we get to see all of these different aspects of your talent. A conversation I get to have with people pretty consistently is, as we think about representation in Hollywood, new roles we get to see. I cannot stop tweeting about to all the boys I've ever loved, to all the men's I've ever grinded. So I wanted to ask you, is there a role in particular you would very much still like to see yourself play?
Have you seen Weekend?
No.
You haven't seen Weekend?
No. Oh, is that the
gay movie
where they meet each other and is going out of town? Okay, sorry.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was like, what kind of gay are you?
And you weren't going to let me slide either. You were like, oh, girl, I will hit you with my hair.
Yes. I would love, it's just like a very sweit, gay romantic.
It sounds like the predecessor to Looking.
Yeah, so as I say, the guy who created Looking, Andrew Haigh, and directed that, may have written it. But yeah, it's just like this really sweet, dramatic, funny, sexy, romantic movie. And I would love to be able to play that kind of romantic gay lead. I just feel like you don't see that a lot, especially with people of color in those roles. I feel like that would be a very fun role to play.
Yeah, I would love to see it.
Yeah.
All right, well, Hollywood, Twitter. Make it work. Do your thing, Twitter, as the kids say. Anyway, Nik, thank you so much for joining us. I love this. You can watch Atypical Season 2 September 7th on Netflix, and Murphy Brown premieres September 27th on CBS. Wolf Network's going to be shook. Up next, more AM to DM. Thanks, Nik.
Thank you.